Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers, and this is part 82 of the story of creation. So we have got, it's interesting. Okay. All right. Here we go. We're going to just jump in today. And it's really interesting because what they're showing me is the inside of a washing machine, which is, it's this movement. It's, agitation, right? Everything is being thrown up against each other. It's being, agitated, but it's like constant movement. And what's in the washing machine is interesting because it's okay. So it's like dark clouds, but some of them are black and some of them are dark gray and some of them are like a brownish gray and, but they're clouds. So they have texture, they have depth, they're alive, right? They're not just like clothes inside of a washing machine. And what they're showing me is currently, it's like this big black cloud, okay? Bear with me here. But it's this big black cloud that has been hovering, if you will, over humanity. It's not even hovering. It's like we've been in it. And the way they're showing me is from like just above the waist up. And it's like all of humanity has been walking around in this cloud for a very long time. By long time, I mean tens of thousands of years. And so what they're doing, right, what they're working towards is removing the cloud, hence the washing machine. But like anything, to remove anything that is, it's like not woven in, but like if you have a stain in your clothes, right? It's soaked in. It's become a part of that article, whatever it is, right? The article of clothing, if there's a stain in it. And it's understanding and recognizing that a lot of this stuff that has to come out of us is thick, it's icky, it's sticky. Some of it's light, some of it's, a little bit of a belief. It's interesting because I was walking this morning with my son, and I kept saying to him, I don't know what's going on, but it feels like I went from, which I didn't even realize I was, but I was like, it's almost like I was carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders and my back. But now it feels like the weight of the world was bricks and it is melting, and it's melting like sludge, right? Like tar. So it's sticky. And I was saying to him, I'm like, it feels like I'm trying to walk forward and my legs are fatigued, right? Like everything is fatigued. Everything is exhausted. It's tired. And so that was, 4 hours ago. And now they're showing me, the bigger picture of what's happening on a global level. So it's like a global washing machine, which is kind of cool because in past times, okay, so they've shared many times throughout this journey, about the cylindrical nature, right? So it's that nature and existence moves in concentric circles. So it's not circles on top of each other. It's one line that continues to move, right? It's constant movement. And so that's ultimately what they're saying that the washing machine represents is it's moving, but it's inside, right? Like the cleaning has to be done from the inside out. And this is where humanity is struggling the most right now, because for most of us, we want the change to happen outside of ourselves. We want to be able to go, oh yeah, that's it, right? Like how we talked about ETs coming back, right? Our brains are hardwired to think, well, we just want to see them walking down the street. We don't want to have to, deal with how we're going to relate to them in a sense of understanding, right? Like, so our brains are like, oh, that's going to be really cool when an ET walks down the street. We don't actually want to think about what that means for humanity and existence and the truth that being is now going to be embodying and sharing. And it means that we're going to have to start to see truths about ourselves that we may not have wanted to see. And so this is where we're at right now, right? We're at that place where we can't run and we can't hide. And what you will find is there's a lot more people staying home. There's a lot more people distancing themselves from experiences and from other people, especially those who feel energy. Okay. And for you, it's understanding that this is not a bad phase of our evolution of, awakening, if you will. Okay. This is the most important phase. It's the part where truth comes out. Okay. And this is the part we've been hoping for and running from simultaneously, right? Because we want the truth, but there's an inner part of us that recognizes that we will have to change. Society is going to have to change no matter what is about to happen, what is about to unfold. And so this is not about spreading fear. That's not what this is about. It's understanding and recognizing that humanity has an integral role in our own evolution, but we've been trained to follow. We've been trained to listen to rules that others create, and then we just need to follow them. And that's what everyone's waiting for. Everyone seems to be waiting for a leader to emerge to tell them what to do, right? You've got people who are following religion. They're like, Jesus Christ is going to come back and save us. Or, they're waiting for someone to tell them what to do. It doesn't matter. On the spiritual side, there's this constant awareness, and right, there's all of these different belief systems and they're clashing, but what's hilarious and what's fascinating to me, hilarious in the sense of it does make me smile, because every belief system is all founded on waiting for someone to make the first move to come and save humanity, right? They're waiting for someone to come and do it. And sometimes they're showing me, sometimes we're even waiting on ourselves to come and save us. And what I mean by ourselves is, our soul and our higher self. And this is the whole point of what they're sharing right now, and what the intention of human existence is. This is what's shifting, is understanding and recognizing that you're the savior. And it's not about saving yourself because you need to be saved. It's understanding and recognizing that being saved is really and truly about reinstating our natural state of being, which is very, very different, right? We're not right now, because we've been under immense amounts of pressure, right? Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Everyone's got a whole bunch of different things that they're going through. Okay. And as a result, we have dealt with it in whatever way. So we've all picked up addictions. Okay. Every single person, whether your addiction is, alcohol, drugs, lying, sex, shopping, hiding, right? If your addiction is literally staying away from as many people as possible, these are all addictions, okay? And they're all based on protecting what we've built, protecting what we've created in our lives so that we can keep it safe, okay? And that's the foundation of society. It's 100% based on fear. And we've been trained to think protection is good, right? Protecting ourselves is important to make sure we succeed. But what if your natural state of being was to explore, right? Because if you are an explorer, how are you going to protect anything? How does that look? The reality is, explorers have zero interest in protecting anything. They understand the risks involved. Okay. And when I say risks involved, when you're exploring your potential, when you're exploring existence, when you're expanding consciousness, right? That's the kind of level of exploring I'm talking about here. Okay. It's you interacting, so communicating with the universe, with consciousness directly, because your big questions about whatever it is, okay? Maybe your questions are about disease. Maybe your questions are about physical health. Maybe your questions are about wealth. Maybe they're about connection between human beings. Maybe they're about connection between animals. Maybe they're about connections between humans and extraterrestrial life forms. It doesn't matter. What matters is you have questions. And those questions are the foundation of your existence. The questions you have are the foundation of your existence. Super important, okay? This is literally how your brain was designed to function as a human being. You were designed to ask questions. And you were also designed to access truth, the truth of those questions instantaneously from consciousness. Okay. This is the exact reason that humanity feels absolutely annihilated right now. We are emotionally exhausted and mentally strained to our breaking point. Why? Because our natural instinct and our natural ability to access truth, okay, means for years we trusted those who told us that this is the truth, only to then discover that the truths that we've been told are riddled with lies, right? It's like Swiss cheese, riddled with holes, riddled with lies. And so what's now occurred as a result is our faith, our trust, and our belief in ourself has crumbled exactly as they designed. Okay? This isn't about you needing to fight a war against those who wanted this to happen. This is about understanding and recognizing that just because they told you a whole bunch of lies does not mean you have no access to truth. That hopelessness feeling inside of you, that wondering if you're ever going to get the answers you're looking for, it's still there. That little spark, that's enough for you to work with. It's enough to trigger massive, massive spiritual awakening and personal transformation. Why? Because it means your instincts aren't gone. They were just dormant. They just were lying dormant because you were tired of being used and manipulated. How cool is that? So your natural instinct to go into dormancy, it took over. You want to know why? Because humans are self-healing. We're also self-governing. So your instincts, even though it felt like you were being mentally and emotionally pummeled and drained, your instincts took care of you anyways. And they made sure that your system went dormant. This is why we have so many examples of autoimmune. We have so many examples of digestive disorders. We have so many cancers and really every disease. Why? Because disease feeds off of your fears. Disease feeds off of your angers. And so what happens is when you've been lied to so many times, your anger rages. But even if you don't think you're an angry person, it's not it's not that you have to walk around being angry at everybody to hold anger in your cells, okay? It's understanding that the anger is a result of not knowing, of not being able to get the answers, right? It's like walking into a glass wall. You know the glass wall is there, and everyone's telling you there's no such thing. You're plastered against it in frustration, in anger, in resentment, going, I know there's something wrong, or there's something off, or I know that I'm meant to get this information, but why is everyone telling me I can't get it? I don't deserve it. I'm not important enough. I don't have enough money to get that information. I don't have enough clearance. I don't have enough knowledge. Like, I'm too stupid to understand it. And what they're saying is that's what's shifting right now. That's why everything feels so uncomfortable, because that glass wall is starting to be removed. And as much as you've wanted to be on the other side of it to get the truth, you're now terrified that you're about to get the truth, because on the heels of all that manipulation of telling you you're not smart enough to understand it, or it's classified information, you are now worried that that truth is going to harm you. How many times we know there's something wrong and we won't even go to the doctor because we don't want them to tell us whatever the thing is that's wrong. We don't want to go to someone because we don't want that diagnosis, right? And this is why there's so much turmoil right now, not because the truth is coming out, but because you're preparing to accept that truth, okay? And so what they want you to do today, I have goosebumps from head to toe. The Creator is saying He wants you to just take a deep breath right now and let yourself begin to feel the love. And remember, love has nothing to do with romance or anything like that. Love is recognition that you belong in this universe. You are a part of Him and He is a part of you. And you have access to every aspect of consciousness. That's love, okay? And inside of you, right now, He wants you to feel your connection with love and with truth and with your pure potential, because it's sitting right there. And what He's saying is you're misinterpreting truth as an attack on you. And that's not what it is. Truth is freedom. Truth is what is going to allow you to not only become who you're meant to be, but it's going to allow you to override the system of manipulation. Not because you have to do anything, but because you're about to become the person that is filled with truth. And lies can no longer stop you. So you will no longer need to fight against a system. You're just going to rise above it. And I know that your brain wants to say, how is that even going to happen? That is impossible in the world we live in. But I want you to feel the Creator. He's right here. The Creator's here. Mother Earth is here. All of the, all of the universal beings, the nature beings. And what they're saying is, you're not lost. You're not lost. You are found in the most profound way, in the sense that your wholeness is a reflection of the wealth of knowledge and the wealth of wisdom and experience that is your soul in this universe. And you are an integral part of joy and evolution. Because joy is literally what makes you ask those questions, because you want to know the answers. That's how you contribute to evolution. So that every single time your brain asks a question and you're like, oh, that's a silly question. Don't do that. Let the questions unfold. Let one question become another and become another and become another. Because what may seem to start out as a silly question is going to take you down a road that only you know where it is. Only you know what the destination is. And you're the one who's meant to travel that road. It's yours. Because when you travel it, the secrets of the universe will be revealed to you and you alone. Not because they're being hidden from everyone else, but because you knew how to find those exact ones that not even the creator understood until you came along. Because all the experiences in your life led to that moment that you asked the next question, and then the next question, and then the next question. That's how evolution works. 100% by asking questions. And here's the thing, right now, you're asking questions with your mind and with your voice. But when you come back to your natural instincts and your ability to ask questions on a universal level through the frequency and vibration of energy, the truth will come through like never before. And you will be able to reach goals that feel insurmountable at this point in your existence, but because not because you can't get access to that information, but because you're ready for it. Okay? This is where you are. This is your life, but this is the reason for your life. It's about getting comfortable in allowing truth to be restored in you, allowing your cells to be, and this is going to sound silly, but that's how energy works, right? Every single one of your cells, your molecular cells, okay, this is a molecular level, is infused with frequency and vibration. And right now, when you're focused on protecting yourself, okay, you've pushed all the frequency of truth out because you're terrified of what truth is going to mean. Why? Because how many lies and stories have you been told about what truth does? It destroys families and people. And the reality is the truth that destroys, that's not truth. It's lies. Because truth is freedom. And what he's doing, he is in the creator right now, is offering you the opportunity to re-infuse your cells with the purest form of truth in existence. It's the highest vibration, which means truth without perspectives or opinions from the human mind. Because the human mind brings everything down. Why? Because it is attached to all your fears, all the consequences you believe truth holds. But that's not how it works. Truth is the highest vibration in existence possible. So your job is to lift it up. Keep it going. Just feel it. He's sharing it. And the most fascinating thing is all the universal council, all the beings are coming in and they're supporting the vibration. So it's like this big, huge oval, if you will, of being standing and creating this space. And all you have to do is just choose to stand right smack in the middle of it. That's it. You don't have to be off to the side worrying that all these universal beings, they don't have time for you. They're too important for you to experience and share in this experience. No, they're waiting for you to join. They want you to join because they know that you're the secret to humanity's success. All those people who are tearing down other people and they're tearing down structures with anger and violence, they're not going to help humanity. All those people who want to protect everyone else, they're not going to help humanity. And I know that's hard to hear. But the truth is, those who are committed to truth at a level that allows them to see above the manipulation, right? So that cloud that we've all been walking around in, they need to see above it. And when you can see above it, you can see how everything's connected. You can see the truth of all of the sources of the manipulation, but you have no resentment. Zero. That's how you know when you've reached that level of enlightened state of being, okay? And what I mean by enlightened state of being is you're now going to be able to contribute to the evolution of existence, because your questions from that perspective are no longer filled with how can we hurt them? How can we get them back? How can we help ourselves from getting out from underneath? You now understand that your questions are going to become filled with your curiosity about our potential. That's it. And about your potential, with understanding, right now, humanity is building a new world. Let's learn about that. Because when you start asking those questions, now you're contributing to the future. You're no longer contributing to the past. Your anger and your resentment contributes to the past. Right? And that's the difference. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to see everything in a new way, in a new light. But it's about allowing that truth to come in and no longer fight it. And more importantly, no longer deny it. Right? That part of you that wants to say, well, I've been on the right side for so long. But if you've still got resentment and anger towards other people and more importantly to yourself for holding this anger and resentment and fear, maybe it's towards yourself even, it's time to heal. It's time to release that trauma, right? That's that brainwashing that makes you believe that you are less than you are and less than you have the potential to be. It's time. It's time for truth. And it's time for truth to be revealed through you, not to you, through you. Stop searching for it outside of yourself, hoping that someone's going to save you or, something is going to save you. It's understanding and recognizing no one needs to be saved because humans are not powerless. We just need to rise into our own power. That's it. And it is that simple. And of course, we see so much suffering and we see so much devastation and we want it to be more complicated. We want the solution to be harder so that we can justify why all that suffering has occurred, whether it's been in our own life or the lives that we see in other people around the world. And that's why we want it to be more complicated, because if it was that simple, why weren't we doing it a long time ago? And that truth, that's the truth that we're all going to have to live with. But it's understanding and recognizing it's not because we need to judge ourselves and we need to reprimand ourselves. It's understanding and recognizing that everything is happening in due course because we've got billions of people working together. Everyone's got their role. Some are here to fight, to show us fighting isn't going to be the solution. And if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be able to recognize that that's not the solution. So praise them. Revel in the lessons and the joy and the love that you're seeing and you're learning. Instead of letting any moment of existence be a waste. Because consciousness doesn't see it that way. Consciousness collects every aspect of existence. It records it. It holds it dear. It's the most treasured value of this existence. Why? Because it's our history. It's the history of existence itself and everything that's ever occurred. Everything is vital to our evolution, just like every single moment from the moment you were conceived is vital to the person you've become today. Every challenge taught you something else you needed to learn to become the one who has enough strength to see the truth, enough confidence to be willing to look at the lies that you've told yourself or you've accepted. Not because you're angry at the other person, but because you're finally recognizing that that truth got you to where you are. And it's not really high enough truth for where you're going. And you need absolute truth all the way. You got this. We all do. And we're ready. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.